All right. We've got one bonus webinar episode, we'll call this, for everybody who's tuning in. We're working with a gentleman named Travis and his company called Viesso. They are a dropship furniture company, furniture brand. Has been around for 15 years. So these guys have quite a bit of history under the belt. They know how to run a good business. And I will stop explaining anything more because I will probably mess it all up, and we'll turn over to Travis. Travis, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Cool. We'll have you share your presentation, and we'll go from there.
Cool. Jump right in. Okay, let me know once we're looking good.
Looks great.
All right. Cool. So yeah, as mentioned, we started in 2005. Originally, it was our own brand, and the basic idea was to utilize web presence and technology that really wasn't being focused on much in the furniture world. And we wanted to kind of take everything online instead of oversized showrooms. So this whole premise that is really popularized now of like direct to consumer and taking off the middleman. We kind of had that premise back in 2005, and that's how Viesso started. It was early on, and we got some traction. And then around 2008, 2009, the recession happened. And so what we did, we started selling other brands. And so in addition to our own collection, we saw an opportunity to be on the forefront of drop shipping furniture and taking brands that are either domestic or international and bringing those into the fold and kind of building out our collection. So that's what we've been focusing on ever since. And we have about 50, 60 brands at this point. And with all of them, we really do a good job of curating those and making sure that anything that we're selling is at a certain standard in terms of quality, customer experience, all that. So instead of going against like Amazon or Wayfair and just kind of trying to compete on a volume scale with as many cheap products as possible, we really focus our collection on brands and items that have a little bit higher price points and better margins, fewer competitors. So we really found that it can become pretty convoluted these days with marketing and advertising when you're trying to go up against those more robust competitors. And so having a more focused element gives us a chance to compete and be better positioned, I think, moving forward. There's a reason why Wayfair does, 5 billion in revenue or something like that, and they still can't produce profit. And it's because they're just not selling furniture that you have enough margin on. So with us, we have an average margin of around 45 to 55%. So around 2x markup, more or less. The customer base is about 80% consumers and 20% trade. That's on a revenue standpoint, not a quantity standpoint. So with the trade, I'll get into that a little bit later. We definitely have bigger projects with a higher order value, but majority of our orders are direct to consumer, which is doing really well right now with people, at home buying dining tables and desks and outdoor furniture and stuff like that. As mentioned, 100% of that is drop ship. So we're online only. We work remotely from home, and we hold zero inventory. We don't really get any returns. Every once in a while, we'll get one. In that case, we'll just send it to a local store and then just sell it and get a cut back of that. Or sometimes we'll return to the brand. But essentially, we're pretty much out of the physical realm in terms of stores and warehouses. It's all pushed onto the brands we partner with, which is great. And it's a blend, a unique blend of residential, commercial, and hospitality. So we're not relying on one sort of sector. A lot of it is home goods, but then we also do a lot of projects with offices and as well as like bars and restaurants, which are great. Right now, those have slowed a little bit, but overall our revenue is held strong because residential has been picking up. But that's kind of nice as we have that balance to kind of weather different trends within the economy. So as mentioned, I think we have a really clean business model. In terms of growth, having no product inventory is super helpful. It lets you be really flexible in terms of how you allocate resources and how you want to scale up, because you're not really investing in anything upfront. Similarly, in terms of cash flow, it's really clean. Customers pay up front in full, and then our vendors bill us over the next 60 days typically. A lot of times we'll get paid up front, and then we won't even have to pay anything for 2-3 months because something's made to order in France or something like that, and it takes 2-3 months, and so we won't get billed until we actually ship it. each one's a little bit different in terms of how we're structured with the brands, but generally speaking, we get paid in full, and then all the costs on our end, all the COGS and shipping is just pushed out for a long time. So it's a nice way to kind of keep cash on hand as things fluctuate. High order value. It sounds obvious, but that's so huge in the furniture world, as mentioned before. So we have an average order value of about $17.50, which is really high within kind of any e-commerce vertical. Part of that is because we do have higher priced products. So, our sofas and sectionals are $1,500 to $3,000. We have, $10,000 dining tables that are outdoor. And then also part of that comes from doing larger projects that range from 10 to 50,000. So we'll get an order of 50 chairs for a bar or something like that, or someone will do their whole backyard and do 20 grand worth of loungers or something like that. So we really do run the gamut from $200 duvet cover to a $20,000 outdoor ping pong table. We have a huge range, but generally speaking, that high order value is massive, not only for generating revenue, but from a business model standpoint, it's such a lower workload. So as I mentioned here, every facet from the sales interactions, invoicing, customer communication, shipping, everything gets curtailed in terms of the demand of the operational end. So as an example, at a typical $100,000 month, let's say, we're going to have 57 orders, let's say, versus if you have an average order value of 100, you're dealing with 1,000 orders. So you can imagine over 1 month, you have the same revenue. We're dealing with around 50 orders versus 1,000. That's a huge discrepancy. And that's why we're able to be really, really streamlined. And why currently it's just my brother / business partner, just two of us running the entire company, essentially. It just doesn't take a lot of time, even though you have a lot of profitability and revenue at hand. And then similarly, freight is by far the biggest variable costs in furniture. And as a quick indication of that, it costs $250 to ship a $750 sofa, and it still costs $250 to ship a $1,750 sofa. So for us, anytime we're shipping something, we've got the margins to absorb that, and we can offer free shipping and still be competitive and still make some money. We don't have any loss leaders. We don't have any entry-level products that we're getting just to acquire customers. Everything we're selling is at a profit, which is increasingly rare these days, it seems like. Similarly, in terms of efficiency, right now, in terms of our customer adoption marketing channels, it's pretty much exclusively organic traffic and Google AdWords. So I think a lot of we've been around since 2005, so we're pretty established. So our organics have been holding pretty strong. And then within AdWords, we're only bidding and spending on keywords that are for people that are searching for the exact product name and brand name that we sell. So we're not spending any money on something like modern sofa or luxury mattress or something like that. It's literally the name of the actual product we're selling. So it's really low in the funnel, really high intent, and we convert very strong with those. So for example, we're spending around $7,000 a month, and our revenue is around 100,000. So pretty efficient spend. At the same time, there's a big opportunity to get into other marketing channels that we just don't have the time to do right now. You could get a little bit broader with AdWords. You could be sending a lot more emails, Facebook advertising. We do a little bit for remarketing, but it's for lead generation. You could definitely utilize Facebook, Instagram. We're not doing any of that. Pinterest, partnerships. There's all kinds of opportunities. We're literally, just because we're trying to sell that at this point, we've just removed it down to the bare bones. Even with that, we're still able to produce a profit and have a nice revenue stream. So definitely some opportunity there, but we're it's kind of like a minimal foundation. It's pretty nice because you have brands that have a big enough audience where even if you only sell to them, you can run a profitable business model. So why are we selling the company? But it seems to be a well-run oiled machine here at this point. And the main reason is in 2016, we decided to split Viesso into two companies. So we have another brand that we're focusing more of our attention on. And we're just not able to make any effort to grow the company. I mean, we're literally doing nothing to expand the sales. We're just kind of keeping things going, running things clean, and then waiting for someone to take it over. So we've been doing this for now I'm still 14 and a half years, and it's time to give someone else a chance to get the attention it deserves. And there's a big opportunity there. So we're going to get into that as the final slide, just to kind of run through how we kind of see it. So we have a great foundation right now, as mentioned. We've got established relationships with design firms, which that can take years to get that trust. We've got a large consumer audience, over 20,000 people in our newsletter. We've got consistent SEO traffic. We're a leader within the world of eco-friendly products, which is definitely on trend right now, as well as higher end brands that aren't sold at a lot of places. So people know us for these facets, and they come to us for that, which is, again, takes years to establish that in the community. We have a really streamlined operation. We're on Shopify. We use Xero, Asana, Upwork, Sidecar, which is a branding agency. So everything is sort of pushed off to the digital realm, and it's highly organized and highly accountable. And it really takes an extremely small team to kind of keep this going as it is. We have a data management team in India that kind of does all the back end product management, pricing, images, all that. Then we have a developer that's outsourced to another country as well. So in both cases, your overhead's extremely low for the quality that you're getting and to kind of maintain things. And as this kind of holistic view, our break even is really low. It's around 55,000. So if you sell 55,000, you're breaking even. And we just did 115,000 last month, 85 the month before that, and 128,000 before that. So again, with this current foundation, it's really easy to make a profit. And then with a little bit of attention, there's a big opportunity to kind of come in and take a bigger chunk of the $121 billion decor industry. It's massive. And so, there's plenty of opportunity to carve out a little bit of that with a little bit of time and expertise. So that's Viesso in a nutshell right there. There's a little snapshot for you.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah,
really cool. Honestly, one of the better e-commerce sites I've seen listed, especially when it comes to drop shipping, because you never know. And that's actually one thing I'm kind of curious about, and maybe you touched on it a little bit, but what exactly is the relationship between you and like where you're getting the furniture from? Is this coming direct from manufacturers? Is there like a distribution provider you're working with? What's going on there?
Yeah, it does vary, but predominantly we're working directly with the brands. So a lot of them reach out to us because we've been around for a while. So they'll say, hey, we're just launching in the US. We'd love to partner with you. Or we'll seek them out and find them because we want to sell more lighting. So we'll find a lighting company that we like. And so basically we're working directly with them. And the agreement is fairly straightforward. We get approved to essentially sell their products at set pricing on our website. And then as orders go through, we just shoot them off the order information. They fulfill it from their manufacturing facility, wherever that is in the US, and that's it. So we don't, even though I mentioned that we have international brands, we work with companies that do have US warehouses, because international shipping is a lot more time. And if something goes wrong with damages, it's just a bit of a headache. So so it's pretty straightforward. It's just us emailing the information, and off it goes.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And interesting you mentioned the shipping, because I think I had two kind of curiosities on that. One on the free shipping. You mentioned at points that you are able to kind of price that in. Do you guys offer free shipping, or is that more of like a special type of thing you do once in a while?
Yeah, good question. It is brand to brand. That's something we've learned over the years, is that when you look at the numbers, certain brands and certain types of products cost more. It can be as simple as their warehouse might not be near a major metropolitan area, or their products are a little bit less expensive for the volume. And so it really does vary. So anytime we see a product line that we're not able to make significant profit on, we will charge some freight. But I would say 95% of what we sell, we're able to offer free shipping, and we do that. And we just absorb the shipping cost with that. And we work with various freight partners depending on, what the outlets are for that.
Right. Wow. I mean, that's incredible that your margins are, I mean, I guess it's
It comes down to that order value.
It's a high priced item with a good profit margin. So you can
Exactly.
put that $200 shipping in there.
Yeah, exactly. That direct market isn't that rare. It's more just when you mark up from 1,000 to 2,000, now you got $1,000 to play with.
Right.
This is 250 to 500. Now all of a sudden you're for marketing spend, freight, returns, all of a sudden that you get really squeezed even though the market's the same. So that's really what we found. We used to sell less expensive products and it just doesn't prove to be worth the time. It just and now we're able to maintain the same revenue with half the amount of work.
Really interesting. And that was one of my other questions. And I know you mentioned in your presentation about returns, but can you kind of just dive into that a little bit more? Because I know that's something people are gonna be curious about, because just shipping a couch in the first place is a pain. So I'm curious what happens when someone's not happy.
Yeah.
And I know you said it doesn't even happen very often, but you gotta be prepared.
For sure. I mean, our return policy right now is basically you have 15 days to try it out. And if you don't like it, they pay the freight cost back. So typically people like it. Again, that comes in with us curating and really selling brands that are high quality. So people tend to like it. If they don't, let's say like we just had a sofa that got delivered to someone that it doesn't fit their place. They just measured wrong, basically. Right. So there are multiple ways we can handle that. Sometimes we can actually ship it right back to the brand. And they'll take it back because they want the stock, maybe with a little restocking fee or something like that. Sometimes we'll just offer the customer a discount to keep it. And they're happy to do that because they're like, oh, you know what? I'll figure out another place to put the coffee table or something like that.
Or they throw it up on Craigslist or something.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. I'm sure people do whatever they want at that point, but it's better than us like taking it back because we don't want to deal with inventory essentially. The third option, which is rare, maybe once a month, honestly, we'll get something, if that, and we'll actually send it to a consignment store that we have a partnership with. So we'll ship it directly to them. They sell off their floor. We get like 50% of it. We get a check in the mail, and that's pretty clean. But we don't really lose money on those that much. You're kind of just trying to get your money back, essentially.
Right. Yeah, you're just kind of trying to break even at that point.
Yep.
It makes sense. Yeah, I'm just curious on that.
Yeah.
Customer service, what does that look like? Especially, I know you mentioned sometimes you've got these huge orders where you're working with a bar, hotel, restaurant, whatever. Like, how much is involved when you're actually kind of working with these guys? And is that just you, or you have a VA that's helping with that, or what's going on?
So currently, as mentioned, if people are curious about like the quote unquote team that we have, it's literally just myself and my brother who started the company. That's it. We're doing everything. He's handling sales. I'm handling like shipping. He's doing invoicing. So and we're not, neither of us are doing this full time, obviously, like they're both full time. So we're able to just do this. I mean, one person could take over this and do everything really. And then they could just take the profit and pay themselves or hire people, however you want to handle that. But in terms of the time, it really does vary. Sometimes we'll, get a PO without talking to them at all. It's really straightforward, right? We sell like a bistro chair that's this company, Firmob, they're well known. The cafe, they want 50 of them. They say, cool, are these in stock? Yes, great, let's get it going. And other times it's more like, hey, here's a floor plan. What do you have that's in stock that you think could work with this? We need something in a leather because it's a lobby or something like that. And then it takes a little bit more time, but the bang for your buck is amazing with those because inevitably for those projects, you're going to get in at least kind of $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 orders. And so it's worth spending an hour or something like that to kind of put those specs together and kind of confirm it. So it's usually there's not that much demand because those projects typically have their own in-house designers. So they kind of have something in mind. You're kind of just confirming stock and then giving them the best deal to be competitive against other retailers that might sell the same brand.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Two more questions for you, just because I love this business. One, the answer might just be a straight up no, we haven't. But I've seen services like Affirm and some of these other kind of loan companies popping up a lot these days. Have you looked into those?
We sell
such big things.
Yeah, great question. Affirm we do partner with.
Okay.
So people currently buy.
Maybe the answer is straight up yes.
It's yes, and not only yes. It gets more interesting because they recently started offering 0% APR. So we just 2 weeks ago actually switch to that model. So people that pre-qualify, and about 80% of our customers do, they can use a firm and get financing, and they're zero interest. All we do is we pay a higher merchant fee. So instead of a 2.8 merchant fee, 2.8%, it's something like 4.7%. So
Okay.
basically the trade-off is we think we're going to get more orders for people because they can spread things out over 12 months instead of buying it up front. And since we've done that, we've seen a big uptick in Affirm. So we're going to look at the numbers and see overall if it makes sense, because that is cutting into a margin a little bit. Yeah. But we're getting a lot of orders, and sales have been picking up actually since we've done that. So far it's working, because yeah, it's a big purchase, right? I mean, if you think about it, other than cars and homes, furniture is kind of the most expensive thing you buy to like have around as like an item for the home, basically.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's probably one of the first expensive things that anyone buys. Is,
yep.
Nice couch or a kitchen table.
Yeah, exactly. So we're totally aware of that, and especially during these times, we want to be, make it flexible for people in terms of their own personal finances and cash flow.
Great. Just one last question. I'm just curious: is there like a seasonality factor to furniture sales?
A little bit, primarily because of the outdoor. We do sell a lot of outdoor, and that tends to be from March through about August or so. Then people, it kind of dies down. Yeah, I mean, still sometimes people buy it ahead of time to get it for summers, especially if it's an order item. And then for us, counterintuitively, December is usually our slowest month. Yeah. So what people assume is like, oh, holiday time, that's when there's a big push for e-commerce. No one's buying, not no one, but less people are buying furniture. Typically
it's not a gift. It's not a gift.
Exactly. So people, a lot of times, like November is really busy because people want to get that sofa bed or that new dining table in for the holidays, and then it kind of slows down. And then January is really busy again because people get their bonuses or New Year, that kind of thing. But we're generally pretty consistent throughout the year.
Yeah, amazing. Honestly, like really incredible business. It's fantastic what you've built. I'm sure it's changed a lot in 15 years just because the internet's changed a lot in the way people shop.
Yes, it's definitely evolved, and we've been doing our best to kind of hone our own model to align with that.
Oh, that's great. I think someone's gonna be very lucky to pick this one up. So thanks for sharing today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Okay.